Okay, so welcome to the Facebook Live session this week, and I'm joined by Justine Grew, my colleague, who is the Work-Based Learning Manager for Business and Management. We are going to be discussing higher apprenticeships. These feel like quite a new qualification, but actually they've been around for quite some time now. And we would want to make sure that you guys know all about it too. So, Justine, before we really get into the nitty-gritty about the higher apprenticeships, there's a couple of dates we want to make people aware of, isn't there?
There is, Claire. So we've got a couple of awareness sessions coming up. On the 5th of August, we're going to have a business administration higher apprenticeship awareness session. So that'll give you all the information that you want to know about the real nitty-gritty of the qualification and how it works and how that's delivered. And on the 21st of August, we've got a project management awareness session as well, which will give, again, people further information about it. So if they want to know more after they've heard stuff today, then they can attend these sessions as well.
Fantastic. Shall we dive straight in? Shall we go straight for it with my first question? Okay, so Justine, what is a higher apprenticeship and how is it going to differ from, what people, the standard thing that people think apprenticeships, school leavers, 16-year-olds, how does a higher apprenticeship differ?
Okay, so all apprenticeships will follow a framework. So whether they're at level 2, level 3 or above, there'll be within that framework a vocational qualification. There might even be 2, as well as essential skills in numeracy, communication, and you might even have to do digital literacy. So some frameworks have other requirements as well, so it's always best to check. But the higher apprenticeship differs only in that the qualification that's going to be followed will be at a higher level. So it'll be at level 4 or above. But there are even degree apprenticeships as well available.
Okay. So what are the, because I know that it's not just one that you're offering within your department. I think there's 4, is there? Can you just let us know what routes are available?
Sure. So we offer advice and guidance. We also offer management, project management and business administration at level 4. We also have management at level 5. So those are the routes that we offer on the higher apprenticeship routes within my department. Within the organisation as a whole, there are obviously other routes as well.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. So today we're just talking about the routes that uniquely within the management and business side of business. Hopefully we'll be able to feature some of the other departments as we move forward and carry on with this sort of format that we're in at the moment. So what sort of person is going to be doing these apprenticeships? What would a typical higher apprentice look like?
So, I mean, it's anybody really that's within the job role. So, I mean, well, you or I could be following a higher apprenticeship route. It really is just about you're in that role that you can display your competency. I mean, you might be aspiring to be in a role, in which case you would certainly need the support of your employer to allow you to do that. But on the whole, a higher apprentice is anybody that's capable of following a level 4 qualification or above and can display that in the workplace.
And I believe this is a question that does come up a lot. Like, I don't really fancy being known as an apprentice right now. I feel like maybe that ship has sailed, but I mean, that's not an issue, is it?
Not at all, because as an employee, if you opt with your employer's agreement, you can follow this, but it doesn't mean that there'll be a change then to your contract. So no, you won't then be known as an apprentice. If I signed up for a higher apprentice in management tomorrow, which I could do, then I wouldn't then be known as an apprentice in management, but I would be following a higher apprenticeship. So your contract and your job role will remain the same, but an employer could opt to recruit somebody as a higher apprenticeship, and that would be different.
Yeah, okay. So I guess we should also, how long do these, is it quite flexible, the length of the framework and how long people take to complete them?
Well, people can be flexible up to a point. So there's always a funding deadline. So generally, most higher apprenticeships within my department offer 24 months for 2 years. Other departments may be different, depending on the vocational qualification that you're following. But some people can finish them much quicker. So you could complete it entirely at your own pace. So it may be that you're much quicker. Some people, unfortunately, are slower. And it really is about your personal circumstances and the amount of time and your commitment that you can put into it. But we certainly ask at the very beginning, we're quite upfront about the amount of time that you need to put into these and the amount of commitment that it will take of your own personal time, as well as perhaps some time in your work.
Yeah, and I guess when all's said and done, these are level 4 qualifications. They are at, as the name suggests, it's a higher level. There is a commitment, isn't there?
There really is. I mean, certainly on the business administration and the management, for example, you've got 2 qualifications, 2 diplomas, and they're big qualifications. So it is a commitment when you put your name down to it, but well worth it once you've achieved it.
Yeah. And are there any, before people can start, are there any prerequisites to becoming a higher apprentice?
Well, it will really depend about the route which you've chosen. So some of the frameworks will require some that you've achieved some qualifications prior to signing up, and others don't. So with some, there aren't any. So for example, with ours, with business administration and with management, there are no prerequisites. But for example, on project management, you must hold a level 3 qualification minimum. And it might be for other routeways, you'd have to check with the assessor or whomever is signing you up what the prerequisites are for other pathways, because I do know that on some others, then you have to do the level 2 before you can progress to the level 3 and so on. And usually it's good practice actually to have done some kind of framework before you start to hire, just so you have an understanding of how it all works and a real understanding of how we build the qualification.
Lovely. Okay, so I think we have touched on this, but just in case somebody's joined and they didn't hear the first bit, existing employees, can they become an apprentice?
Existing employees can certainly become a higher apprentice, not a problem.
Higher apprentice, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are eligibility criteria around level 2 and level 3, and again, you'd have to check on those. But certainly, if your employer says that they're supportive of it, and you're in the correct job role, and that gets, and we do some skill scans and things like that with individuals before they sign up, then yes, you can do a higher apprentice if your role allows it.
Cool. And do you actually have to be in the role at the time? Can you start your apprentice and start a job later, or?
No, you need to be in the role because you've got to be able to display the competence, and the apprenticeship is very much around the gaining the knowledge and the skills to do the role, and then reflecting on that and putting it into practice and showing that you can be competent in the job that you're doing. And it's as you move forward in your role and develop in your role that you then sign these units off as you go through it.
So as we're talking about that aspect, about the work and the showing examples and what you need to do, how are we doing that now? Nobody's at work. Well, they're at work, but they're not at work.
Well, some of them are just like you and I, where we're working from home, just crossing our fingers that nothing goes wrong. But yeah, I mean, we're still working. Assessors are still working incredibly hard, and tutors are working hard. People are putting materials online. We're offering blended learning. Our assessors are remotely assessing their learners. We're fortunate enough that we have OneFile, which is an e-portfolio system, so we can remotely assess and we can electronically store individuals' work. So yeah, we've been quite fortunate in that way. And I suppose for management and business administration and the routes that we're offering, this kind of technology lends itself well to what we need to do.
Yeah, I mean, the technology, I think we've said this on every single stream, it's just it blows us away, really. It's such a good substitute really for meeting face to face, while we can't all do that right now.
It's been such a steep learning curve, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
especially with this whole live series of lives that we're doing. There's a lot of us who have learned a lot actually, and I think it's really good. Let's talk about costs then. Have we covered costs?
We haven't. So there's no cost involved, as in a monetary value for the employer or the employee, but there'll be costs associated with the release. So depending on the framework that you're opting for, there could be some day release, in which case you're going to be released from the workplace to attend a college site or some remote delivery or what that might look like. And there'll also be, but as part of that framework, if you don't have certificates in GCSEs, for example, then you may have to do essential skills. So there'll be release for those as well in terms of doing those certificates in numeracy, communication, and maybe or digital literacy, depending on the route that you've picked.
Okay, I've just been scanning through our social media while we've been talking, just to see if anybody's asking us any questions. But everybody's very shy today. So if you do want to ask a question, you are listening and you're thinking that maybe higher apprenticeship in the management, business management, project management, advice and guidance might be something that you're interested, please take this opportunity to ask us the questions. We can deal with any queries right now. Okay, so yes, we did talk when we talked previously about any flexibility within the frameworks, maybe the fact that we might be able to tailor slightly depending on the roles.
So certainly for the qualifications that we deliver, there's flexibility in terms of the competency units. So when it comes to doing some of our diplomas and you're looking at the units that you want to build evidence around and show competency in, if perhaps you were in a role where you wanted to...
Ellen, not now, not now.
As we talked about earlier, remote working.
No. Okay.
So in terms of flexibility, yeah. I just think so an individual can choose, they can opt to choose units within the qualification where perhaps they want to improve their competency or get stronger at, certainly with the help of their employer. Yes.
Fantastic. That was my daughter. It's her birthday today, so she wants to see Mum and show me some cool apps that she's downloaded. There we go. This is homeworking in action, isn't it?
It is.
Thank goodness I've got my earphones on because there's a racket downstairs now. So, Justine, what about the companies? Please help me. The companies that we're dealing with. Can we name check anyone that we happen to be working with at the moment, or the types of companies?
So yeah, I mean, we work with all kinds of employers. I mean, you'll know where we're based in North Wales. We generally have a high proportion of our population works in the public sector. So we work really closely with the NHS, North Wales Fire and Rescue. We'll work with the police, and so forth. And certainly the councils, we do a lot of work with them as well. But equally, we work with private sector as well. And I know that people, when they come on the delivery, really appreciate the different industries that are there within the room, that are represented in the room, and sharing their experience with people who are from the public sector, also with the private sector, and talking about the different ways that different organisations work. People really value that. So that's always very good and very positive outcomes of our delivery.
So, even... You might be a very small company, but you can still take advantage of getting somebody onto a higher level course. You're not limited.
Not at all. You might even be a sole trader and think, actually, this is a qualification that I might like to do myself, and there's absolutely no reason why that might happen. Okay,
I'm going to have a quick scan, just see if anybody wants to ask us anything at all about...
While you're scanning, I will just plug one more time that we have got the 5th of August for our business administration higher apprentice awareness session. It'll be streamed via Facebook, so people can log into that. But if they want more information or they want a direct invitation, they can also contact us through the Business App Facebook pages or using the telephone number that I believe might be on the screen. And also on the 21st of August, we've got the project management awareness session. So again, if you want a direct invitation for that, then you can contact us through those ways, or it will be live streamed as well.
Oh, cool. So we are definitely live streaming those events.
Yes, that'd be great.
Brilliant, because anybody will be able to find out at any point in time then if they have an interest and they want to find out. Okay, fantastic. The mayhem continues in the background. So what about then? What about maybe just a little bit about the various routes? Do you want to focus in on any of them? I mean, some of them are really quite sought after, aren't they? Like, I'm thinking the project management, people are always talking about wanting to upskill in that particular area.
So the project management one is, so it's a APM accredited, it's a professional qualification. I think if you were to pay for it as a standalone qualification, it would cost you an awful lot of money. So the fact that this is offered through the Welsh Government, through funding, through the Higher Apprenticeship Scheme, is a real opportunity. So if you're in a position where you're running a project and you think that this is something that you want to do and gain this qualification that's professionally recognised, then it certainly is an opportunity, and I'd encourage you to come along to the awareness session in August.
Yeah. Anything that you'd want to just draw attention to in terms of some of the other routes?
I just think the only thing I'd really want to draw attention to is just the commitment that's involved, and that irrespective of which route that you opt for, that A, that you're in the correct job role, B, that you're committed to completing it and understand the requirements of the qualification that you're signing up for, and C, do come along to an awareness session so you have a real full understanding of what it is that you're enrolling onto. But as I say, we do business administration, we do management, project management, and also advice and guidance.
Okay. And we've got the dates coming up. We'll put the dates below. I'll once we finish this stream, I'll publish the dates as a comment underneath the video that will be available. And we've got some flyers that we can release over the next couple of days.
Yes.
So really, just to sum up, we've got 4 really exciting professional routes that are fully funded for the companies, that anybody at any stage of their career can really get some really serious qualifications. You have to be in the role, obviously, but it's a way of formalizing qualifications and experience for people who've been doing a job maybe for a number of years, who possibly don't have the piece of paper as well.
That's right, yeah. Or you could be new in the role, and you could be that you haven't been doing your job for very long, and actually this support of this qualification will assist in that as well.
Yeah, and any company, any size, take advantage. But beware, it's a lot of work. This is these serious qualifications. That there is a commitment, and it's about what the two-year commitment usually.
It says, yeah.
But it's like I had half an ear when you were talking about it's essentially free to the company.
It is essentially free, as in the Welsh Government will fund this through the Higher Apprenticeship Programme, but there is a cost involved in terms of release.
Yes.
So you will need to be released in order to attend any of the teaching sessions, or to meet with your assessor, or to attend essential skills training, or whatever else is a requirement of the framework that you choose.
Yeah. That commitment is small compared to the value of the training that is offered.
Definitely.
And this training is going ahead as normal, but virtually nothing has stopped for us.
No, I mean, we're planning for everything. So we're planning remote delivery, we're planning blended delivery, we're planning face-to-face delivery, because everything is changing. So we've got all ways covered. So we're fine.
Excellent. So there's been no better time, really.
Absolutely. And for employers too, so if they want to upskill some of their teams, perhaps their teams are working from home, perhaps they're working on a reduced contract, and they think this might be an opportunity, then I would certainly ask them to get in touch too.
Brilliant. Thank you, Justine. Do you want to just give us one last reminder of your dates before we sign off?
Oh, I really feel like I'm plugging it now. 5th of August, Business Administration. 21st of August, Project Management. They'll all be online. They'll be Facebook Live. You can contact us via this, or on the Business App Facebook pages, or perhaps you've even got a contact in the college. But get in contact some way, and or watch it live on the stream.
Yeah. So that is brilliant. Thank you, Justine. Next week, we're going to talk to Mark Learmonth from the management team. I'm not sure exactly what we're covering yet, but it will be exciting for sure. I think it might be along the lines of digital delivery. This is the thing, it's so fast paced, we don't know what we're doing next week yet.
Thank you for that.
Thanks, Justine. And we're going to sign off now.